Today's reading is by the great spiritual teacher Ram Dass. It's taken from an essay he wrote called The Listening Mind. He says, if we're willing to examine the agitation of our own minds and look just beyond it, we quite readily find entry into rooms that hold surprising possibilities, a greater inner calm, sharper concentration, deeper intuitive understanding, and an enhanced ability to hear one another's heart. Such an inquiry turns out to be critical in the work of helping others. Ultimately, this kind of listening to the intuitive mind is a kind of surrender based on trust. It's playing it by ear, listening for the voice within. We trust that it's possible to hear into a greater tonality which offers insight and guidance. The experience of resting in awareness without any specific thoughts to hold on to and trusting our intuition turns out to be a refreshing and exciting adventure. In this choiceless, spacious awareness, we don't necessarily know from moment to moment how everything is going to come out, nor do we have a clear idea of what is expected of us. Our stance is one of just listening, of fine-tuning, trusting that all will become apparent at the proper time. To rest in awareness also means to stand free of the prejudices of mind that come from identifying with cherished attitudes and opinions. We can listen without being busy planning, analyzing, theorizing, and especially judging. We can open into the moment fully in order to hear it all. As we learn to listen with a quiet mind, there is so much to hear. Inside ourselves, we can begin to hear that still small voice within, as the Quakers call it, the voice of our intuitive heart, which has so long been drowned out by the noisy, thinking mind, our mind. What will service be like without music? I asked myself, as I'm sure you're asking right now. Well, it'll be shorter, so there's that. By the way, hymn-free services are not unknown in Unitarian churches. The Perth congregation, which I spoke at last year, has a music director who can only play one hymn. And so they sing it every week, same hymn. And the thing is, they don't feel deprived at all. But as I say, and I said at the outset, I think not having Daphne today is something of an opportunity. It is, first, an opportunity to shift our perspective a bit, and that's a good thing, because one's perspective can easily harden into and become complacency. We can review our unspoken and perhaps unrecognized expectations about what we come here for. And with all respect and gratitude to Daphne, I suspect it ain't the singing. But it's more than just a change. More than just a change of perspective. More than that. It's an opportunity to engage with and enjoy the most easily overlooked and yet most special thing about this very special and unique place, Shady Grove. I'm talking about silence, which is ironic if you think about it, talking about silence. Specifically, the silence that this building in this place is capable of. Normally when we're indoors, normally at home or work or in stores, we are, for one thing, encased in an electromagnetic field set up by the wiring of the building and its connection to the vast and powerful electrical grid which generates it. Not here, we aren't. I think you'd agree that part of the fact that this church is without inner electrical wiring makes a qualitative difference. Because right now, we're not quite in nature, under an open sky, exposed to the open air, thank God. And we're not quite in a dwelling made for comfort, are we? We're in what's called a liminal space. It may as well be an adobe hut, a teepee, or a thatched hovel. We're covered from the elements, but only just. Great nature here is very close. We sense it all around us. It speaks to us, but not in words. It speaks all the same. The silence this building is capable of. Well, what happens when we have no stimulation? When every moment is not filled with a word, a note, a thought? Sitting quietly together in fellowship in a quiet liminal space for a given period of time, there is actually a word for this activity. It is called meditation.